I wasn't retired when I moved to France. I didn't have a French spouse. I wasn't buying property. What I did have was a full-time remote job with a US company, a steady salary, and a plan to study French, and a very large folder of paperwork. And somehow those pieces became the path to my French long-stay visa. Hi, I'm Karen, and welcome to Designing Freedom. This channel follows my journey from Florida to Europe, building the freedom to work less and live more. In my first video, I shared why I sold my Florida home. In my second video, I told the story of how I nearly bought a small hotel in Scotland before that path changed. In this video, I'm sharing how France became possible through remote work, French school, accommodation planning, financial proof, and a lot of paperwork. After Scotland was no longer possible in the way I had planned, I started researching other options in Europe. France kept coming up. I wanted to learn the language properly. I had learned it 30 years ago. But I also wanted the time to explore different regions, and I wanted to see whether France could become a place where I might truly belong. But dreaming about France and legally staying in France are two different things. So the question became, how could I make this practical? For the French long-stay visitor visa, I had to show that my stay was planned, funded, insured, and that I was not coming to work in France. Again, this is not legal advice, this is just my experience. In simple terms, I needed a completed application, a valid passport, photos, a cover letter, proof of accommodation, proof of funds, private health insurance, and a statement confirming that I had access to sufficient funds and will not seek work in France. The visitor visa category is really about showing that you can support yourself while in France and that you're not coming to take a French job. For me, the three biggest pieces were accommodation for 90 days at least, my employer letter, and financial proof. One of the hardest practical pieces was accommodation. For my application, I needed proof of where I would be staying for the first 90 days. And it needed to be proper documentation, not just, I'll stay at a hotel, or I have a friend in Paris. This is one of the reasons I chose to study French at Alliance Française in Normandy. Because I enrolled for 3 months, they were able to provide the official accommodation document that I needed. For them, this is normal. They understood the visa process and made a difficult part of the application so much easier. It also meant that when I arrived in France, I wasn't just arriving without structure. I had school, accommodation at a French-speaking household, and I had a purpose. French school didn't just help me learn French, it actually helped make the move possible. The second important piece was my remote job. I worked full-time for a US company, and I needed a letter from my employer confirming that I would continue to be paid. The letter also confirmed that the company had no business activity in France. And this was important because I was not moving to France to work for a French employer or to take a French job. My income was coming from my existing US employment. For me, this is the practical bridge. My remote job gives me my stable income while I begin to build this new life. I also had to show that I could support myself financially. In this case, it meant providing proof of salary, bank statements, tax returns, and financial documents. I also needed private health insurance that covered me in France for the first year of my stay. Visa applications are not glamorous. They are paperwork, patience, and details. For example, all the photocopies must show that all the borders of the item copied. If a tiny corner of the copy of your passport is cut off in the scan, that copy will be denied. So you have to be really careful with each document. My visa appointment was in Miami on Christmas Eve. That's one of those details I'll never forget. I went in with my passport, printed application, photos, cover letter, proof of accommodation, employer letter, financial documents, health insurance, and everything else I thought I might need. People there were actually really helpful. They looked at my file and suggested I changed something in my accompanying letter, so I made that change right there. And then I waited, and on the 6th of January, my passport came back with the visa inside. It felt like the best possible way to start the new year. But getting the visa in my passport was not the end of the process. After I arrived in France, I validated my visa online the following week. And that step was important because that long stay visa has to be validated within 3 months of arriving in France. After that, I received a letter with details of a medical appointment. I attended that appointment at the end of April. Now I'm waiting for my titre de séjour, my residence card, to arrive in the mail. And this next stage matters for everyday life. Once I have that, I should be able to move forward with other practical steps like applying to exchange my Florida driver's license for a French one, opening a French bank account. In practical terms, a French bank account is needed for so many everyday things: renting, utilities, car insurance, monthly payments, and just making life function more smoothly in France. So the visa was the door opening. But settling in process has continued step by step. If you're thinking about life abroad, I hope this gives you a realistic sense of what the process looks like for me. Not as advice, and not as a perfect blueprint, but as one real example of how remote work, planning, language study helped make France possible. If this story resonates with you, please subscribe and follow along. I'll be sharing the real journey: French school, remote work, visas, finances, regional exploring, and designing a life with more freedom and intentional living. In the next video, I'll show you what daily life actually looks like now. 4 hours of French school in the morning, full-time US job in the afternoon, and dinner every night with a French host who speaks no English. Here's to freedom, courage, and finding where we belong. I'll see you in the next video.